Hello world and welcome to Elevated Intuition. Today we are doing a reading. What makes you so attractive? So I have 5 piles in front of us. I'm going to put crystals on them here in a moment. At any time, if you see a pile that resonates with you, I have the timestamps down below. This is a general reading, so take what resonates. If you get into a reading and you're like, no, that doesn't sound like me at all, and you were debating between one pile or another, feel free to listen to the other pile. Also, maybe more than one resonates with you. Maybe you have messages in each. So this is the point where you get to engage your intuition by choosing the pile that is attracting you, and then I get to engage my intuition and read that pile for you. Now let's put on some crystals. So for pile 1, we're going to put on this labradorite. And I don't know if you can see just how shiny it is. It's got like all these hidden colors in it. It's very beautiful. Pile 2, this is citrine. Pile 3, we have a heart. This is a hematite heart. For pile 4, this is Septarian nodule. It's out of Utah, I believe. And for pile 5, this is emerald. That's what the back looks like. So, pause the video if you need to. Take a deep breath in. Close your eyes, release that breath, open your eyes. Which one is calling to you? Timestamps are down below and I will meet you at that pile. Hello group 1, if you picked the labradorite, you are in the right place. I already have the cards placed for us because we have several of them, so I wanted to get those out here, and then I have 2 more cards for us. So let's start over here with both of these here, because they're very interesting here as to what makes you so attractive. So these are archetype cards. The first one that got pulled for you is warrior, and then we've got hero, heroine. So these very much go together. The light attributes for warrior is strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will, heroism, stoicism, self-sacrifice, and conquering the ego. And then over here for heroine or hero is passion for a journey of personal empowerment. So it's not only personal empowerment, but helping others. And I think that these cards, confirm a lot of this, and we will talk about that a little bit more as we get to them. Shadow attributes here, trading ethical principles for victory at any cost, indifference to suffering inflicted on others. And the shadow attribute here is escapism and false sense of heroism. So just make sure, I think you have this deep desire inside, and this is what makes you attractive, to be a hero, to stand up for others. Just make sure that, do those others really need you to do it? And then when you are standing up for them, sometimes we stand up for people and they don't really need us to do that. They need to do it for themselves. So you're it kind of goes with the shadow attribute here, is that you're kind of to make yourself feel better. You're standing up for somebody, but they don't really need you to or want you to, or it's actually detrimental to their cause that they should fight their own battles, but you just do it because it makes you feel good. So there comes kind of an intuition to this, which, like I said, I think you do it out of the goodness of your heart, especially here with the Empress and the King of Cups, that this intuition that you need to engage when you go into something like this is this the right situation that I need to help? Should I stay out of it? Am I really helping? You may even just double check with somebody hey, I'm here, because this 8 of Wands is a very, very fast moving energy. So I think that you are very willing to just jump in and help. if you see a situation where you need to do that. But just almost with this King of Cups, just, check your intuition. Is this the right appropriate moment for me to jump in and do that? And like an example of that is you see somebody stuck on the side of the road in their vehicle, they're pulled over, go check with them. Hey, are you okay? Do you need help? Before you call the police to come help them, things like that. So you might want to just double check with somebody. Another way that you may think that you're helping is you see somebody and they're buying something and you're like, you know what? I'm talking about like clothing or whatever. And you're like, that color just does not go with their skin tone. They would look better in this blue or something like that. In instances like that, you should check your intuition and let somebody make their own mistakes. You can't just jump in at every opportunity, even though I know you want to. You've got this passion inside, this hunger inside, but you kind of have to think about how somebody else is going to take that. But you see this radiation off of the heart here for the King of Cups. I really feel like when you do jump into situations that you have the best interest in your heart. Like you really do want to help some people. But sometimes, you get into a situation and you're helping somebody of the opposite sex and they take it the wrong way. They take it as, you're hitting on them and they've got a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. And you're like, hey, I'm just here because it seemed like you needed help. And sometimes, unfortunately, you really do have this big heart, but other people don't see it. You have to understand that everybody has a different perspective. And even though you are trying to help and you're doing it in your best way, that it doesn't always come across that way. But I think that you really have this quiet calm about you. And you're very, again, with this 10 or this 8 of Wands, I think you're very quick-witted and natural. You're very natural beauty, naturally handsome. There's not a lot of enhancement that you need to do, whether you think you do or not. You don't. You come across as a very natural, very just kind of radiant person who is compassionate and diplomatic and emotionally balanced. But the thing is not everybody, when you are this warrior and this heroine archetype, you are ready for battle and you jump into situations that you you have your best, you have the best of intentions, but the people around you don't necessarily see that, or they can't process it from their perspective. So just be careful from that. I think you do and have the capability of seeing it from their side as well. And you are okay because you are confident enough that if something isn't going right and that you're okay, I get it. I maybe overstepped some sort of boundary here that you didn't realize was a boundary, but you kind of just need to do it. And that's kind of with the Sun in reverse, that you really do have this very optimistic, best of intentions, childlike attitude towards the world. But it's a little bit more complicated, unfortunately, for other people than it is for you. But that's okay. Let your sun shine. Let you be you. Because you are very nurturing. You are this shining light in the darkness. And maybe it's not always met with the same energy or intention that you put forward or appreciated in that way. But you need this, again, going back to this King of Cups, this inner knowing, this inner understanding of your own attractiveness, beauty, and of who you are. You have to be who you are And you have to be authentic, and you have to understand that even though you're ready, willing to go at a moment's notice, that other people don't necessarily, that they again can't meet you with that same energy. So that's why I'm here reassuring you about who you are and what you are, and you will meet people that, like, the rewards far outweigh the negatives of it. But because of the nature of positives and negatives, you're always going to focus on like that one negative versus those 100 positive things that came up. So let's look at these guys. We've got She Who Becomes, Metamorphosis, Transcend, and Journey. And let's see what this one is. This is She Who Thrives, Flourish, Prosper, Blossom. Yes, so just focus on all the smiles that you can get just by being you. This metamorphosis, this transcendence, I think, we're talking about, I think this King of Cups is kind of like the ultimate place that you can be in with this type of, this person that you are who really puts themselves out there and is a service to others. And it is very attractive. But again, you're going to run into those people who don't appreciate it or who don't understand it. And you need to be like, your journey that you're on here and how you're changing is understanding how they view the world and how they see the world, and that it's not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of them. Because you're going to go out there with like this super pure heart, this super pure intentions, and it's not always going to be met. Like, the people are going to think that you're, and especially like people you just meet, and because you are so special in this way of like helping others, that somebody has been taken advantage of before, and they are looking at their past experiences and judging you for that. So you just have to stay on your course. You just have to blossom. And in the course of it, like, you are going to change others. You're going to change their mind. You're going to change, you're going to be like this beacon of light in the world that is absolutely and totally needed. So don't let like the negatives that you come across bring you down. You just be you. And focus on the 99% of the time where you really brighten somebody's day, and let that brighten you. Let that fuel you for your journey, and understand like that one person who didn't meet your energy, like, they aren't ready to meet your energy today, but a week, a month, a year from now, you probably, because of this beautiful energy that you have, this natural attractiveness, this really natural archetype that you are, you could change their life. You really could. And they aren't appreciative of it now. But unfortunately, like a week from now, when they're like, look back and go, oh, you know what? That person really, really helped me when I needed it. And I thought that they had some ulterior motive, and they didn't. And that has restored my faith in humanity. Like, you have that power, and that's what really is attractive. And that's what, like, these butterflies here often represent metamorphosis, which is interesting. Like, both of these cards talk about metamorphosis. Her hair is changing colors. Like, you change people's lives just by the tiny little things that you were able to step up and interject and do. So I think that's attractive, group one. I hope this resonates for you. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below, and I will see you in the next reading. Hello, group two. If you picked the citrine, you are in the right spot. I went ahead and put the cards out already, and I have 2 oracle cards for us to look at the end of this. Let's take a look at these archetype cards that came out first, because they're very interesting. The other thing that's interesting about these two is, we've got this orange and this blue, which are complementary colors, which if you know anything about the color wheel, they're kind of like opposites that come together. But I feel like the wounded child like leads into the bully. And there's positives and negatives about both. So we're going to talk about that, okay? So the light attributes of the wounded child awakens compassion and desire to serve others, or other wounded children, opens the learning path to forgiveness. So that is very beautiful. And then for the bully, it highlights your tendency to intimidate others, helps you confront inner fears that bully you. So it's not necessarily that you're out, like definitely the shadow aspect is that you're the bully on the playground that goes and pushes other people around. But I want to highlight this like intimidation, because we're talking about what makes you attractive. And sometimes people are just not ready for us. And it's funny, like bullies get bullied, and it's kind of like a cycle because you stick out in some way. I'm almost seeing like, especially with this wounded child, like an empathic kind of thing. And a Hyoka empath. So a Hyoka empath is like a high level empath, and you're kind of there, and you stick out in some way. And I'm thinking that like maybe you were the tall kid, maybe you are you're a little bit different. Maybe you're the one who feels a little bit more. Maybe you were the emu kid. Maybe you are you're goth, or you're the rocker, or whatever area that you live in society. Like you stick out in some way, and whether it's physical or underneath, but that instead of, and it's really difficult, especially when you're growing up, because differences often get made fun of, but it happens because, and I'm thinking this leads into the wounded child too, that and you don't even really understand that everybody gets made fun of, because we are all unique and beautiful in our own way. So but you feel it more, because it's not only this empath here, you're not only feeling it for yourself, you're feeling it for others too. So even though it's like this energy that kind of brings you down a little bit, as you grow and mature and get older, and if you are older, I hope that you have realized like this power or this beauty to like tap into others and tap into like their inadequacies, just to give you an understanding of other people, and like you do understand people, and especially sadness. And that's why I kind of like went with the emu or goth, because they, especially in like middle school, high school age, you really tapped into your emotions, and it gets overwhelming more so than you're really ready for. So, and I was talking about the Hyoka empath. I think that evolves into that. And like, you're able to, because a bully can be very strong, as long as you're not using your power for evil. So like going forward in the workplace or in other areas of your life, wherever you are, like you stick out so that you take attention that like other people can't handle. And that is a power. And also, like think of Angelina Jolie. Have you ever seen pictures of her? Because I'm hearing ugly duckling here. If you've ever seen pictures of her when she was a teenager, like she looked different. She looked weird. She had those like big lips and those big eyes, and that, just that everything that makes her so beautiful today, and beautiful for like years and years and years, but it just was a little bit awkward. And I'm feeling like with this energy, I feel like that at some point this was a little bit awkward for you. Then we have like this Three of Swords. It's really calling to me, and I think it's calling to you too, because underneath there's like this certain sadness about you. And I feel like if you can harness it, like it could go both either way. That's why I was talking about as you're growing up and maturing, I hope that you're like putting this into perspective for yourself, like, and using it to your advantage, like the Hyoka empath, like understanding that is a great honor to be out there and be the target and take take the focus off of others who cannot handle it. Because even though this is difficult and excruciating, like this heart is being put back together and it's going to be stronger than ever. The comeback is better, is bigger than the setback. There's also, it reminds me of, there's this Japanese art of like when they have broken pottery, and I can't remember the name of it. But they put the pieces back together with gold. And that's what's happening to you. Like every heartbreak that you've had, like you keep coming back and you keep rebuilding yourself bigger and better than before. You are a very loving person. We've got this Knight of Cups, like people who are lucky enough to have you in their life. They get to see your creativity and your romance and your charm and your imagination and your beauty. And as you grow older, like those things, you had those junior high and high school, it was just kind of misunderstood. And a lot of times, kids don't, they're kids. They're learning things. You're learning things. You're not really sure how to handle your emotions, and neither are they. And sometimes jealousy comes out as this bullying. Like you got bullied because people were jealous of you. And what made you special and what made you stick out is something that is probably you felt like was an anchor at one point, like you wished you could get rid of. For instance, like I remember people used to make fun of my quote unquote buck teeth. Well, I was in middle school, like my face grew into it. And then now if you look at some of these actresses who get these fake teeth, like they're way bigger than my teeth. But that is something that I was made fun of and is really kind of like something that's sought after. This Hanged Man here, this is an energy of pause, surrender, letting go, and new perspectives. So that's why I'm feeling like this whole like evolution of you, this evolution of yourself, like everything that you've gone through has built you and made you into who you are. And if you have not sat and paused and thought about that and appreciated that, I hope that this message for you right now, the way that we're talking about it right now, gets you to do that and gets you to really, I love this like light coming off of where her head is. It's like this, oh, this is my new way of seeing myself. I am Jupiter. Do you know that Jupiter, and I go back to this Hyoka empath and Jupiter. Jupiter is the largest planet. Jupiter has, because it's the largest planet, like it has this gravity that asteroids are attracted to it. And as such, it takes asteroid impacts away from Earth. It kind of protects the other planets because it's so big and it's so out there. And it's all it's doing is just existing as itself, being itself. But these celestial bodies, or asteroids, or these things that are floating around in space that could really harm Earth and kill everybody on Earth, Jupiter is like, hey, I got your back. I'm going to stand out here. I'm going to be myself. I am going to take this energy off of you. And maybe it hurts me. Maybe it does, but it's really just adds to my charm and beauty and who I am. And I hope that as you've matured and as the people around you have matured, that you are able to see these things about yourself as an asset. And then we have the Devil, and I love this deck with the Devil. This Devil is like very attractive, very like the most attractive devil I've seen. This can talk about a couple of things as related to what we're talking about here, like this. I think if we get this new perspective on how you are and not let this heartbreak tear you down, like the devil can talk about attachments, addictions, restrictions, like restricting yourself. So I don't want you to restrict yourself. I don't want you to get into like that because you are very valued, you are very attractive, and what you do just by being here and existing and being who you are is very valued and attracted. So don't let things that have happened in your past define you. The devil can also talk about your shadow self. So this hangman taking a time to pause, like I was talking about putting everything in perspective, that very much relates to the devil here. I want you to reframe events and how you are and things, because you are just a really amazing feeling person. And I want you to put yourself back together bigger and better than you were before. I want you to understand like what you are doing and the value that you have, and this energy that you put out is actually like super attractive. That before, when it was called out, it's out of jealousy. It's not out of that there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. The devil can very much talk about sexuality as well. And like I said, this is like a super attractive devil card, that, there's just little je ne sais quoi, like that. I hope I pronounced that right. That just like that little something about you that is really attractive. I also like that this is like right there around the heart, because you have so much heart behind everything. So let's see what these are. Okay. So, yeah, very interesting. Especially, I'm looking at this one. So let's address this one first. She who aches, Perpetua, sadness, solitude, silent withdrawal. So, when I was talking about earlier, you may have felt like you were singled out, and you were, you were singled out because there is something special about you, not because there isn't. Okay. But, as a child growing up, like that might be something that was difficult to understand. And, I just want you to know that you are perfect the way you are, that you are beautiful the way you are, and your energy is absolutely needed and loved. You just need to flip this perspective about yourself. Like, you may be feeling broken, but you can build yourself back stronger. And then also there's a certain amount here of like freeing yourself. I think that's really kind of in this devil and in this hanged man as well. The hanged man is here like hanging out just in a pause, and she can let go at any time. Like she's ready to let go and be free at any time. Like she has this like thing holding on to her wrist, but she is just about ready to be like, I'm done taking a break. I'm ready to let go. So, freeing yourself of like this thinking, the way that you've kind of grown up thinking about yourself, and understands that anyone attacking you was doing it out of jealousy, because you are special in certain ways, and not letting that control you, not letting that because the devil, can control you. That's the whole point. But only that you allow. I mean, take a look at, see, he's got these lines that go to this person. He's controlling this person, but they're not tight. They're breakable at any point, and they're breakable with she who is present. Now awareness, acceptance. So accepting yourself and appreciating yourself and loving yourself and being there. Because I bet too that there are people around you that see you and like they see you as Jupiter. They see you as this Hyoka empath. They understand like the beauty that you bring, but you aren't seeing it from them because you're not seeing it in yourself. And it's really time to accept yourself and love yourself because you're absolutely beautiful. So that's what I have for you, group 2. I hope this resonated. And please like, subscribe, and make a comment down below, and I will see you in the next reading. Hello, group 3. If you picked the Hematite Heart, you are in the right place. I went ahead and put the cards out so we didn't waste time doing that. And then I have some, these 2 cards that we will pull out a little bit later. So let's start with these guys. So these are archetype cards, and we've got Lover and Avenger. So very, very beautiful, very lovely. So Lover, light attributes, great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. And Avenger is desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of oneself and society. The shadow attributes here of the Avenger is resorting to violence in the name of a cause. And because we have the Emperor here, which goes back to Aries, so that might be something to just watch. That the pen is mightier than the sword. And then your shadow attributes here on the Lover is obsessive passion that harms others, self-destructive devotion. So if you get too attached to somebody, and you might, because, you know, a lover loves. A lover's got to do what a lover's got to do, right? So you got to be careful of that. First, know your self-worth above all else. And, you know when love is being returned back to you. And I think you do. I think you know that because we have the moon here. The moon is very in touch with her intuition. So like deep down, you know. And then it's interesting that we also have the Tower. The Tower is just like you have this ability to strip things down to like the base elements and really understand them. So what makes you attractive? I think we've got, wow, we've got 3 major energies really, because we've got 3 major arcana cards, the Emperor, the Moon, and the Tower here. And the 10 of Wands is like this bringing on, like, well, both of these, let's talk about them. Bringing on responsibilities. You're not somebody who shies away from things. You're somebody who meets things head on, and that is very attractive. that the Emperor is definitely a very masculine energy, a very confrontational energy. He's not afraid of things. Like he is looking to control a situation. If something is going south though, like if something isn't going right, like he will step up and take responsibility for it. So you're somebody who is very responsible, somebody who other people can trust. And when you say you're going to do something, you're going to do it. And you don't mind some hard work. Like you are okay with that. You're a hard worker and you've been there, done that. You have the t-shirt. You can go and, you put in some effort, and that's very attractive. The other thing is you're very stable and structured. The Emperor is stable and structured. I'm looking at the numbers here. Number 4, the Emperor, 4 is a number of stability. a chair has four legs. Like, people are drawn to you because of that, because you are safe. And this 10 of Wands, like, you're able to bring on burdens that maybe aren't your own, and don't necessarily have, like, you'll do it because you love someone. You'll do it because you feel like they need the help, and you stepping in will balance the scales for them. And you know, you have no problem doing that at all. There's not even a hesitation. That you're very focused and disciplined in that way. So somebody who isn't disciplined might have an issue with you, but that's okay. Then we have the Moon. I love the Moon. It's one of my favorite cards. Also, like, look at these two. This, like I said, the Emperor is very masculine card. The Moon is a very feminine card. And not just, this one actually has like a woman kind of floating there, but you have a depth to you as well. You have many layers, and not everybody gets to see this side of you. A lot of people, like, I think that you are very well suited in leadership. You could be a manager, a director, somebody who is in charge of things and get things done. And you make a lot of decisions, and sometimes people may not understand the decision because they're looking at it from their perspective, but you take in everybody's perspective. You're trying to make the best decisions for everyone. And you're very competent and confident to do that. But some people might think that you have secrets. Because, like, you have this depth, and maybe you don't let everybody know, and that's okay. You don't need to let everybody in. And then the Tower is so interesting. Look at the butterflies here. You're not afraid of change. You're not afraid to take on things, because like I said, you've been there, done that. I have the t-shirt. So when something happens, you have been tested before, and you're not afraid to take things down to the foundation. Sometimes that's what needs to be done, and people are really afraid to do that. And this, like, confidence that you have is, again, something that's very attractive, very nice, very good for you. So let's take a look at these guys. We've got She Who Surprises. Breeze, surprise, discovery, revelation. Again, we've got butterflies here, butterflies here. I think the surprising stuff is, like, you come off like very kind of authoritarian, but underneath, and it might be like you have this little bit of a crust, these layers that somebody needs to break through underneath. Like, you are very, very compassionate. And then we've got She Who Doubts, Enid, fear, wariness, trust. So this is very interesting. You've been through a lot. So so that's why people don't understand this depth that you have, this depth of emotion from the Moon, is because you really do need to trust them to let them in. And the attractiveness of that is when you do let somebody in, like, they know that they are special to you. Usually when this Enid self-doubt card pops up, it talks about needing to let go of mistrust. So just make sure that you're letting people in, important people. Let them know how important they are to you. You have this guard up, and I think that it is difficult for you to let go, but that's part of what makes you so attractive, is you have this depth, and you have this feeling, and you have this really, like, understanding of other people, and this want to take care of other people underneath. So make sure you let people who mean something to you know that. Make sure that you let them in a little bit, because it's definitely like doubting other people and fearing and having this mistrust because you have wounds. That's very natural, but they can't go on forever like that. And especially if it's somebody who's you're trying to have a relationship with, they need to know you. They need to know the real you. You need to let them in. 10 of Wands also is kind of letting go of some burdens. Like, you can take all these burdens on, and you are like proud that you're able to do that. But part of loving others, part of being a lover, and because you probably have been such a lover and so open with your heart before it's been hurt, but you need to let the people that you live in, you're gonna get hurt. That's what happens. I'm sorry. But you're going to hurt even more if you don't, because then they're not going to understand how much you really do love them and appreciate them. And the best way to do that is to let them in, because you're a beautiful and lovely person, and they deserve to see the depth underneath. So that's why I also like these butterflies. Oh, and that may be why the Tower is here as well, like to let go of that exterior, to let go of some of those things. And you don't have to let everybody in. Your neighbors don't need to know the real you, but somebody who you want to share your life with, yeah, they probably want to know who you really are underneath. So that's what I have for you, group 3. I hope this resonated. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Hello, group 4. If you picked the Septarian nodule, you are in the right place. I went ahead and put the cards out because it just saves a little bit of time, and we've got so many of them. So let's start with these archetype cards here. And the archetype that came out for you and why you are so attractive, or what makes you attractive, is Knight and Child Magical. So light attributes is loyalty, romance, and chivalry, a love of honor. And then over here we have seeing the potential of sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. So those are very attractive things, especially for people around you. And I think that you are, looking at these cards, I think that you're I think you are an extrovert. I think you like to just light up the world for people around you, especially I'm saying that because we've got the Knight, the magical child, and then the Hermit in reverse. The Hermit likes to be alone. They like solitude, but this is reversed. So I think that, you have a sense of who you are. Also, you notice that there is like a light coming off of them. Like, you walk into a room, you light up a room, you're just like that little bit extra. You're that lightness. You like energize people. People see you and they want to be around you because you have this like certain charisma. I'm also saying that because we've got the 7 of Wands in reverse. Usually this is talking about like kind of putting up a barrier between you and other people. You have people coming at you, attacking you, and I think like both of these, the Hermit and the 7 of Wands, you've got kind of like this just light coming from you. I don't think that you like to put up barriers between you and other people. I think that you like to get energy from other people. You like this excitement. You like this energy coming from other people. That's why I said extrovert. And you're not concerned about conflict. I think that you're somebody who will argue points. You're somebody who will engage, and you're not worried about conflict. You do like deflect things maybe with charisma. You're very intelligent person, but you just like love life, love people, and like I said, you just light up a room. Let's talk about this Three of Wands. This is a confidence and kind of like a go-getter energy. She's getting ready to just go out and really like live her best life. And for you, with these other cards, I think that involves like other people. You're the life of the party. You're up for anything. You're that ride or die kind of co-pilot that maybe isn't the best influence on all of your friends. When you're at a party, you're going to be there with your friend, like going chug, 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 chug for them to drink like the whole beer or the whole whatever. But that's what makes you fun and attractive. And that's why people, maybe you're not the best influence. You really want to be around other people, and you really want to, you're not concerned about the consequences. I'm saying that because of the magical child here, that you really just see things very positively, and but that makes you the life of the party. That makes you someone who is fun to be around. You are, though, it doesn't make you vapid. You do have a depth about you because, like I said, you're not concerned about conflict. You're not concerned about having an argument. And I don't think you really even consider it an argument. Like, you think that it's playful and fun to play devil's advocate. You're one of those who is devil's advocate. But you have to have a certain level of intelligence to do that. And maybe people around you can get frustrated with you, but that's okay, because that weeds out people that you don't want to spend time with, because you are like this magnet, this attractive, and you have fun at parties and you're fun and out there. Like, everybody wants to be around you, but you surround yourself with like-minded individuals or people who are on your level and who challenge you because you challenge them, and that's okay. That's totally fine. That's exactly what you need to do. So then we have the Seven of Cups reversed, and this talks about like a wistfulness, a daydreamer kind of quality, just a very lightness, this is also kind of leading into that kind of life of the party energy. You may be somebody that people look at and think that they never grow up. You know what? You live your life. You don't need to grow up. You're going to have a fantastic relationship with your kids and grandkids. You're definitely you're probably not there yet, but like as a grandparent, like you're definitely like the cool grandparent or the aunt or uncle who these kids gravitate towards, because you have like this youthfulness about you, and you will like all of your life. So it's not just like an attractiveness to a potential partner. It's an attractiveness to people around you. You just have this charisma, this something that people want to be around, and they want to hang out with you because you're fun. And even when you're arguing with them, like, it's not like this is right, this is wrong, we can't be friends anymore. You're playing devil's advocate, and you're making people see new things. So we've got She Who Frees, Carly, liberation, unrestrained freedom, and She Who Knows, Yelena, wisdom, clarity, resolution. So yeah, this, let's talk about her first, just because we came off of where I was saying that you kind of have like this, you're very intelligent and you're not afraid to engage. So you do have like this wisdom. And when you do engage with other people, like, you're very, like, you can play devil's advocate because you can see all sides of a situation, but then it also helps clarify the situation, or helps other people grow. It helps yourself grow. It helps you look at really where you are, and you're always kind of like taking your temperature on different subjects and items, because you're reading new things, and you have like this thirst for wisdom, even though you have this very kind of like, you're not necessarily serious, like you're not totally serious about it. You're very, very playful with it. But you see people for who they really are, and you process information with your heart and your head. You're an out of the box thinker as well, and I think that comes in with like the Seven of Cups, like this wistfulness, this this imagination that you lean towards things like. People come to you with black or white situations, and you're able to really kind of show them or talk to them about like, well, what about this? What about that? And there's something like unique in the way that you see the world, and that is very much appreciated. If it's not appreciated, it should be appreciated. If it's not appreciated, let's go over here to She Who Frees, Carly. You got to let people go if they don't understand you or they don't appreciate you. Liberation, unrestrained freedom. So you are, like I said, like you're one of those people who like doesn't grow up because you have this freedom about you. She is throwing like this shackle into the ocean. Like you are not bound by other people's rules. You're not somebody who like society says you need to do X, Y, and Z, and you're like, why? Like you're questioning authority. Like that doesn't work for me. I don't need to do X, Y, and Z. Like, and you're very open to that. Like you're unrestrained, and that's okay. That you can't be bound and you can't be contained. And that kind of goes back to that out of the box thinking, that kind of goes back to your imagination and this magical, childlike quality that you have. I just like ripped through this. Like it's like so clear. Yeah, so romantic, lightheartedness, lightness, just really fresh, fun energy, but you question everything and you see the world a little bit different, and that's what makes you attractive, group 4. So please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you in the next video. Hello, group 5. If you picked the emerald, you are in the right place. Went ahead and put the cards out to save a little bit of time. I do have these 2 cards that we will reveal what they are later. But what came out for you is, if I can pick it up, we've got Storyteller and Damsel. So very, very interesting. Storyteller, light attributes, ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. And I think that you like to share these stories with other people. And, you know, if you are kind of like afraid or on the cusp, or you're not sure that you should share them, the Lovers and the Ace of Swords absolutely says that you should. And we'll get into that a little bit more, and especially this Magician in reverse, because I'm not sure that you're sharing your stories or that you're communicating them to other people. I think that you're really gifted at that. You're gifted at making up characters and stories and new things. You're gifted, like if you read tarot, or you've wondered about it or thought about it, you would be very gifted at it with this story. The shadow attribute here is making up tales that harm others. So like somebody who gossips a lot could be a storyteller. I'm not seeing that necessarily here for you. I'm just saying that it might be it might be attractive to you. Like, you know that you could make up like a really cool, interesting story about somebody that maybe is not the best about them. So I think you've been tempted to do that, to be a little bit manipulative, and even with this Magician in reverse could talk about that. So hopefully you are just like keeping that in the back of your mind. You understand that you have this power and you're not exercising it. Damsel, light attributes, understanding the nature of healthy romance, inspires you to rely on yourself. That's interesting that it inspires you to rely on yourself, because usually you hear damsel, you think damsel in distress. Yeah, we've got no knights here to come and help you. You are your own savior. Shadow attributes, wanting a knight to provide for you, seduction by romantic illusion. So that's interesting that you have that. That's interesting. That's the shadow aspect, because look at here, you have the Lovers. but I think that the Lovers is a very kind of pure energy. So a couple of things relating to the Lovers. It goes back to the zodiac sign Geminis. Geminis are very communicative. We talk a lot. I say we because my sun sign is Gemini. We talk about a lot. We relay a lot of information. The Lovers also suggests that when you make decisions, you make them with your heart over your head, that it also talks about a level of like consciousness. You may need some grounding, like that might be helpful to you, but what's attractive about you, and going back to this damsel, is kind of being a romantic and being a very loving person, but also storyteller here. Like the Gemini like embodies both the storyteller and the damsel, that you are able to express ideas to other people. I love this whatever this geometric shape. Actually, I know that geometric shape. It stands for like bringing together the masculine and the feminine. So there's a little bit of a balance kind of thing going on here. But the way that it's situated between the two is that like you're communicating ideas, and you can communicate things in so many different ways. So even if you are like, no, that's not me, I don't write stories. Are you an artist? Do you create artwork? Because when you're doing those things, or you're a very visual person, you're always thinking and asking yourself, like, what you're creating, is it sending the right message? Is it sending the message that you think it is? Are you are other people going to understand what you're saying or what you're doing? And very, very communicative, very, very strong, coming in here also with the Ace of Swords. So I think though Ace is kind of like the beginning of something, but it's the beginning of like a new way to communicate. Because we're talking about this, you might have an idea that, oh yeah, you know what? I am very gifted, or try it. Whether that's starting an Instagram account or a YouTube account, or starting to write some stories. If you've ever felt like you needed to pick up a pen and write some things down, this is saying you should do it. This is for you. You are gifted at this. This is what makes you attractive. You're able to communicate things to people in a way that makes them think about it, in a way that they appreciate, in a way that just like touches them to their core. Like, I love this beam of light. It's either you shooting like this beam of light into other people's minds, like you're able to make them visualize things in a lovely way, or they or this is you like shooting out your ideas to other people. Either way, you are a great communicator. Then we've got the Magician in reverse. So this is where I'm thinking that you don't even understand how good you are at this, or that other people value this in you, because the Magician is reversed. You're restraining your power in some way, like you're not using it, or you're not using it to the best of your ability, or to your full ability. You could also be procrastinating on things. You might be a procrastinator, from one procrastinator to another. Sometimes that works out because you're not putting a lot of time and energy into something. You're just kind of like letting the universe work things out. The Magician in reverse can also talk about imposter syndrome. So you may really desire to write something, to write a book, to write articles, to be a journalist, to any of those number of things, but you don't think that you're good enough to do that. I'm telling you right now, you try doing that, you are good enough to do that, and you're going to be very, very good at it. You have like 3 cards here saying you are good at it. So the Seven of Pentacles indicates to me that you probably don't know this about yourself. That's why you're watching this video. You don't know how attractive you are or how gifted and talented you are, especially with communication and thinking and relaying ideas. And you know what is also interesting? I think that the Magician in reverse might be that, because you've got this damsel as well, that these things are very personal to you because you're creating them and you love them and you want to see them grow. But you have this level of, like, you don't want to release them to other people because you're afraid that they won't love them as much as you love them. So that might be part of this Magician in reverse, that you really are creating these beautiful things, or you're capable of it and you're just not doing it, or you're half-assing it, or you're just not, like, you're not putting in your full effort to it because you're very, very emotionally attached to it. And if it doesn't come out, or if you don't get the accolades that you think you do, you want, or that you need for it, or somebody doesn't appreciate it that way, that it's going to be really hurtful and very harmful for you. So instead of trying, and instead of doing your best, and instead of putting it out there, that you are just not, you're just not doing it. So I really feel like there's a little bit of a self-sabotage here for you with this. And I just want you to know that all of these cards are saying, hey, be you, do you, put it out there. And maybe it doesn't get received the way that you want it to, but just keep doing it. You need to be persistent. You need to keep pushing. You need to keep doing it, and understand you really do have a gift for this. You can really do this. So then we have She Who Hesitates. More up, ponder, delay, confidence. It's interesting that there's a confidence here, because I think that we're in this, like, shying away from the light, like not letting the light shine on your gifts, that you're holding back. You're holding back your talents. You're not fully engaging in what you can do. You're not putting your full capabilities out there. And the reason might be because you've been hurt before. And then She Who Regrets. Battle, victory, bitterness. So there's a little bit of this energy from Eclat that I think would benefit you, because she is persistent. She pushes forward. She fights these battles. And that part of her energy, I think, would be very beneficial to push forward, to put your ideas out there, to write that article. When you have an idea to investigate something and write about it, you should definitely do that. When you have an idea that you want to create something, maybe it's an artwork that you want to try, some sort of acrylic pour or whatever, you should definitely do it. Don't regret. Now, the other thing that this card talks about is, you probably have faced some rejection before, and we all have, and that it's become pretty personal. But persistence will carry you through. And honestly, persistence is the thing. Like, there are loads of talented people in the world, but the people who are persistent, the people who keep at it, and I bet that you can name somebody who does what you do, who you can look at their artwork or their journalism or their whatever it is that you do. You can look at the competition and you're like, how is that person so good and my stuff isn't? I will bet you that the difference between them is that they just keep chugging along. They keep putting their stuff out there, because if they didn't, you wouldn't know about them. You wouldn't see it at all. And also understand that if there is room for them, there's room for you. There's only one you. There's only one person who sees the world the way that you see it. And you're absolutely, this Ace of Swords says that you should share it. So that's what I have for you, Group 5. This looks, I'm seeing a lot of like internal battle. I'm seeing a lot of like, you know, you're not super confident in your skills and your gifts, but I'm also seeing a lot of potential here. You just have to trust in yourself and love yourself. Get away from this idea that this knight in shining armor is going to come save you. Save yourself and be persistent. So please like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you in the next video.